Hi, so my name's Annie Blakey and I'm 40 years old and I am one of the nature rangers who works for Workington Nature Partnership.
What drew you to this role?
Well, I started off as a volunteer, so after the first lockdown when COVID was on, I needed to get away from my husband and my kids because I had 4 kids at home at the time. I was furloughed from my job at Centre Parks and I found out about the reserve from the swans. We were coming down to feed the swans and I messaged Reagan and said, you know, I would like to come and get involved, and she said, yeah, come along. So I came down and I was doing 2 days a week while we were furloughed from work, and I just really enjoyed it. I'm a gardener by trade, so I've got transferable skills, so I could come down. I started learning loads about the area, all the different places. I'm not from Workington, I grew up at Silla, so I've been in Workington now for 10 years, so it was a really good way for me to find out all the different areas and different wildlife and things to do. And then when Reagan went on maternity leave for the second time, they advertised for a job, and I thought I'm gonna apply for that, and I was lucky enough to get the job. So yeah.
This one might be a bit obvious, but how does your role align with the land and nature sector in Cumbria?
Well, because I'm a gardener by trade, I've always been really into doing my gardens and watching the wildlife and stuff. So before I came here, when I was furloughed from Centre Parks, so that's at Winfell. It's a massive red squirrel sanctuary, so I would go and I'd take my bird seed and my nuts and put them on my patio and just watch all the birds. Didn't do any cleaning, but it's just span from there. And the more, I think with lockdown as well, I was feeding the birds in the garden. We had hedgehogs coming in, everybody slowed down and we just started appreciating what was on our doorstep. And I think I was quite scared about going different places in lockdown, so we just stayed local to Workington, which is how I found out about the reserve, Civic Ponds and the different beaches and stuff like that. So yeah, my kids have been forced to like nature, to like it.
Definitely reason. How did you get into the role? What qualifications did you have prior to this role?
So I did my A-levels when I left school, and then I've got an MVQ level 3 in hospitality. So you might not think that hasn't got anything to do with this job, but my level 2 was in bar and drink service, and they said to us, if you do hospitality, you can take it to any business. You don't just have to stay in the bar and food industry. So it taught me how to deal with people, how to deal with complaints, difficult customers, people from different religions, faiths, you know, so it was a really good starting point, and I feel like it's helped me take on this role because I'm really good with people. So then my other qualification, so as a gardener I'm self-taught, so I've got no qualifications at all, but because I've been doing it for 20 years, time served, you know. So when you do the same things over and over and over again, you get really good at doing them. So since I've got the job, I don't know if this is relevant, but the company have put me through different training courses, so I'd feel a lot more confident in what I'm doing now.
Where did you find this role? And did you look through job sites or word of mouth?
So I was on Instagram and I'd put on about the swans at the reserve, and I think Reagan had liked it, and so I'd looked at her profile and I'd seen what she did, and then that's how I came about volunteering. And I knew the job was coming up because she'd gone on maternity leave, so I was checking every week to see when it had come on, and as soon as it came on I was like, right, I'm applying for it. So
what do you enjoy most about the role?
I like the volunteers. I like coming down and watching the ducklings and stuff like that, and it's different every day. So I've loved the training that I've been able to do. So I can do my chainsaw now, I can do strimming, I've done my health and safety courses, so I feel quite confident at doing first aid and stuff like that. And it's just, yeah, I'd say the volunteers make it because they're such a nice bunch of people. They really are, and we all have a laugh, and yeah, it's good.
What advice would you give to others who might like to do what you do?
Volunteering is a great way to find out if you actually like doing the job. All right, you don't get paid for it, but sometimes you've got to take that leap to get out there to do that. So for me, volunteering was the only way that I got into this job, was by starting off as a volunteer. So it might seem, you might want to go out and make money, but sometimes that's not the most important thing. So when I first started doing it, I wanted to give something back to the community, and I thought, well, I'm a gardener, I can come out and I can help do things on the nature reserves.
Did you face any challenges when looking for your role or working in the land and nature?
I think the biggest challenge is, especially being a woman, is when you're outside all the time, there's no toilet facilities. So, and especially when it's your time of the month, it's quite nice to be close to a toilet. But apart from that, that's one of the, and stuff as well like uniform, like a lot of your PPE, it's for men. Also, when I was having to get my chainsaw pants, I'm like having to order like a men's size large, thinking, there's no more men's size larges and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very much a male industry, but hopefully we'll get more girls into it.
How would you describe the accessibility of skills in land and nature-based courses?
There isn't any. It's really, really poor. So for me to do my chainsaw course, I had to go about 15 minutes past Penrith. So you're talking an hour and a 15-minute drive to get there and an hour and 15 minutes to get back just to do that. But I mean, if I wanted to get a gardening qualification, I'd have to go to Askham College, which again is a good hour's drive away and stuff. So there's nothing, which is really sad because there should be. So.
How do you think the Land and Nature-based Skills Service could have helped your experience?
I don't know. I really don't know.
And what would you like to see from a land and nature-based skills service in the future?
More qualifications, easier to access, you know, actually having someone in Workington up at Lakes College where they teach people about conservation or stuff like that, just to make it more accessible for people, because it does feel like it's a really hard role to get into. So I think you've got to be passionate to do it as well. You've got to have that in you.